Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. A settlement has been reached between actor Alec Baldwin and the family of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. Hutchins was fatally shot on the movie set of Rust last fall. The anniversary of her death now just 2 weeks away.
Oh, it's just so sad. For more on this wrongful death lawsuit, let's bring in host of the Apple Top 10 Naughty But Nice podcast, Rob Shute. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are so happy to have you in-house.
Good to see you. Good to be here.
Great to see you.
Awesome. So this news of the settlement, it came out yesterday afternoon. It's gotten a lot of reaction. What do you think of the details here? Is it what we were expecting?
Yeah, no, this came out of the blue. We didn't think this was going to happen. I think we knew something was up when Alec Baldwin started to sell his homes. I think he thought he was in real jeopardy here.
Interesting.
He seemed like he had moved to Vermont, which is a state where you can't actually take somebody's property if there's a civil suit against them. So his house is up for sale in the Hamptons. There was rumors of his New York City apartment going up for sale. So we knew he was in trouble. Then this settlement was made. We don't know how much money. I'm told it's tens of millions of dollars. But there's a really weird part of the settlement, too, that really stunned people, including myself. Now, Halyna's husband, the widower here, is going to become an executive producer of the movie.
Right.
So now he is going to be in charge of the movie along with Alec, making profits from the movie. They're going to start reshooting this in January.
So do you think that plays a role in the settlement? Maybe, he's now involved with the movie. Maybe he can make some money off the movie. Because people die on movie sets. It happens. Mm-hmm. Usually it happens by accident.
Right.
This was an accident.
Yeah.
But somebody was shot to death on this movie set. Now they're going to go back to filming the movie Rust. How does that work?
A movie that got shut down under these circumstances, I didn't imagine this movie was going to come back. Sources are telling me they're probably going to change the name of it, and I can't imagine who's going to see this. Probably a very ghoulish type of audience. We have to be really clear, too. It's not Avatar Part 2. This is an independent movie,
This is not
a Western, with Alec Baldwin. How much money is it really going to make?
Right.
I'm hoping Mr. Hutchinson here got a really big settlement up front, because I think profits from this movie will not be great.
Well, I mean, it was an accident, but there's been so much back and forth about this specific gun. Who was the last person to check it? Was the person qualified to check it? I mean, we keep hearing new information about the exact person and whose job it was to look at it. What's the latest on that?
Well, Alec is not out of the woods yet. This is a civil case that has gone away. The criminal case is still moving ahead. In fact, the authorities issued a statement saying nobody is above the law. In a civil case, you can do things privately. You can throw money at it to settle it. They said in a criminal case, the only thing that matters are the facts. So they're going to keep going forward here. So it's not over yet.
Good point. This is civil. All right, the criminal, we'll wait and see. We're also waiting to see what happens between the great Tom Brady and Giselle. First of all, I listened to the Naughty But Nice podcast a day ago. You dedicated an episode to this, Rob Shute.
This is big news.
Dynamite stuff. I don't know who that guest was, by the way. I want more Rob, less of that guy. Just saying, that's my critique. But I am hearing that this has to do with Tom Brady's politics. Tom Brady's conservative. He had a Make America Great Again hat in his locker. He's golfed with Donald Trump. He said when he went to the State of the Union, George W. Bush, 2005, he said that his future after football could include politics. How much of that plays a role?
There's a lot of truth in that. So this is not about cheating. A lot of people think this is because he returned to football and she's mad about that. There's some truth to that,
part of
too. But also, too, she makes her living in an industry that's all about image. He has to go out and win a game, and arguably your politics don't matter quite as much. Let's remember that the apex of her business, Vogue magazine, would not put the First Lady on the cover when Mr. Trump was in the White House. And so I think there's something to this. It's complicated, and I do know those couples that have really struggled who have different politics. Suddenly now, politics is much more in your face than it was probably 6 years ago. I think now people are talking about it over dinner in a way they wouldn't before. I'm hearing that there's a lot going on here, and the chances of them fixing this look less and less each day.
50-50, he's watching right now?
If he's watching right now, hello, and call Giselle.
Wouldn't it be funny if he's a big Newsmax guy? He's like, no, he's like, I watch it. Giselle's like, turn that off. Turn that that up.
It's wild.
We love them as a couple.
It's wild because this has now really come into people's living rooms, and I don't think this was the case 10 years ago.
It wasn't. And now you have separate dating apps, you know? We now have a new Republican dating app.
It's complicated, but we should point out too, she makes more money than he does.
A lot more. She's worth what, $400 million?
$400 million.
$250 maybe?
250. Can you imagine doing
Yeah.
the poor one on your Tom Brady?
All
He's
right.
not poor, but
He is Rob Shute. I am Rob Finnerty. This is Christina Thompson. He has guests on the Naughty But Nice podcast.
you should come on, Rob.
I would-
and Christina too.
requires-
I'd
I would
have
love
you.
to.
Yeah.
It requires an invitation. I don't know who that was yesterday. Rob Shute, thanks so much for breaking that down for us. We appreciate it. As always. Okay, we've got a lot more to come here on Wake Up America. After the break, wait, do not forget to download the Newsmax app, by the way.